Good morning. Welcome to the class on reductions. We have just discussed about lithium borohydrate. Now we will discuss zinc borohydrate. The next reducing agent is zinc borohydrate. Zinc borohydrate. Zinc borohydrate can be prepared in a similar fashion like lithium borohydrate. What we need to do is we need to mix zinc chloride and sodium borohydrate. So metal halogen exchange takes place in THF solvent. So what we will get? Zinc borohydride plus sodium chloride. Here zinc plus 2 is stronger Lewis acid. Zinc plus 2 is stronger Lewis acid. So it will have better chelation or better coordination. We will write chelation with carbonyl. Makes it more reactive. Makes the carbonyl more reactive. So overall what we can say, zinc borohydrate is more nucleophilic in nature. So it is more nucleophilic than lithium borohydrate or sodium borohydrate. One more advantage of zinc borohydrate is it is less basic than sodium borohydrate. Compared to zinc borohydrate, sodium borohydrate is more basic. So if the compound is having some base sensitive functional groups, we cannot use sodium borohydrate. But we can use zinc borohydrate because it is less basic. Therefore, used for base sensitive compounds. If there is a base sensitive functional group like acid sensitive functional groups, then sodium borohydrate reduction cannot be used. Instead, we can use zinc borohydrate reduction. Then I did tell you that zinc borohydrate is more nucleophilic than other two borohydrates, sodium borohydrate and lithium borohydrate. Sodium borohydrate can only reduce aldehydes and ketones to corresponding alcohol, whereas lithium borohydrate will also reduce esters to alcohols. Zinc borohydrate, it will also reduce along with these three aldehydes, ketones, ester functional groups. Zinc borohydrate can also reduce carboxylic acids. Zinc borohydrate will also reduce carboxylic acids because it is more reactive. Okay. So all these functional groups can be reduced to corresponding alcohols. So I'll give you an example of zinc borohydrate reduction. This is amino acid because it is isobutylene group. It is called L-leucine. L-leucine. When we reduce this L-leucine with zinc borohydrate, THF minus 10 degrees centigrade, what we will get is an alcohol. So this is called L-leucinol. Here we will get almost 85% yield. Carboxylic acid is the carboxylic acid is the functional group which is undergoing reduction with zinc borohydrate. Okay, amine will not undergo any reduction. In the next example, we can also differentiate aldehydes and ketones when we use appropriate amounts of zinc borohydrate. Okay, aldehydes and ketones will undergo reduction with zinc borohydrate, but when we use appropriate amounts, that means this is 2, right? Please make a correction, this is 2. When we use the amount of zinc borohydrate which is just enough for the reduction of aldehyde, we can differentiate both aldehyde and ketone. Okay, in this case, a more reactive aldehyde will undergo reduction, whereas the ketone will not be disturbed. So it is only possible when we maintain the reaction temperatures. We should maintain the low reaction temperatures. At the same time, we should use only the amount required for reducing only aldehyde. Okay, if you use excess, ketone also undergo reduction. Right. When we have a simple ketone and enone, zinc borohydrate will selectively reduce a simple ketone but not enone. Enone will not be reduced, enone carbonyl will not be reduced, but it selectively reduces ketone. Here methyl group is above the plane, so hydrate transfer takes place from below the plane. Above the plane methyl group is there, so it creates sterical crowding. That is why borohydrate will approach the carbonyl from below the plane. So hydrogen will be below the plane, OH will be above the plane. Sometimes when we have terminal alkenes, alkynes or dienes, then in that case, zinc borohydrate not only reduces the normal functional groups, that means aldehydes, ketones, esters, and acids. At the same time, zinc borohydrate will also reduce the terminal functional groups like alkene, alkyne, or uh, diene. Okay, so the reduction of double bond is not like normal hydrate transfer. It is like boron reduction. So boron will add to the double bond. One side boron will add. When we do oxidize that boron, alkyl boron, in place of boron, we will get one OH group. Okay, so I will discuss boron reducing agents in the next topic. So I'm not discussing this. Okay, but remember that when we have terminal alkenes, alkynes, or dienes, zinc borohydrate will reduce them like a boron reducing agent. Okay, like a diboron reducing agent. When, of course, this fellow carboxylic acid, so it will be reduced to alcohol, fine, but this double bond also, it will reduce this double bond like a diboron reagent. When we oxidize the diboron reduction product, that means alkyl boron, what we will get is an alcohol. Okay, I'll discuss this diboron reductions in the next topic, so I'm not giving the mechanism here. So not only alkenes, alkynes, dienes, all these functional groups, they can be reduced with diboron reagents. So the same way, zinc borohydrate in situ, a diboron will be generated. That means boron reagent will be generated, which will reduce these double bond or triple bond or diene. So the reduction of diboron reagents, the reduction with the diboron reagents, I will discuss it in the next topic. So I'm not discussing it here. Please take a snapshot. I'm changing this page. Okay. I'll just give two more examples on zinc borohydrate reductions. I'll just give the examples of reductive emanations. Okay. So the products, yesterday we have discussed reductive emanation. So we know how to predict the products. So I don't give the products. Okay. So when we condense this carbonyl with cyclohexylamine, for condensation, that means reaction between amine and carbonyl, it will give imine with expulsion of water, H2 from here, oxygen, H2O will be leaving. So that is what is called condensation. Okay. So for that, we need a Lewis acid. We can use many different Lewis acids. So in this case, silica gel, silica is used. Then zinc borohydrate for the reduction of imine. So what is the product? So these are straight away products. So I'm not giving the products. Piperidine. So here we are using zinc chloride as a Lewis acid for condensation. Then zinc borohydrate. Without Lewis acid also, a carbonyl and amine will form imine, but the amount of yield is very less. The product, that means formation of the product uh, can be improved by using a Lewis acid. Okay, so Lewis acid facilitates the formation of imine very easily. So we will get more amount of imine. If you have more amount of imine, then we can easily reduce that to corresponding amine. So I'm not giving the products here. Then we will see, take these two problems, then we will discuss selectrides. Next we will see lithium or potassium trialkyl borohydrates. These are even more nucleophilic compared to the previous three borohydrate reducing agents. Okay, I'll give one by one. First one is lithium triethyl borohydride. So we will have lithium plus and a negative charge on boron. The common name is superhydride. The common name for this is superhydride because it is more nucleophilic. It is having three ethyl groups. Ethyl groups are electron releasing. They are plus I groups. So boron will be having high electron density around this. That means H minus will have more electron densities. So it is more nucleophilic. It is called superhydride. IUPAC nomenclature is lithium triethyl borohydride. Lithium triethyl borohydride. Next reagent is lithium triisobutyl borohydride. So as usual, lithium will be plus charge, boron will be minus charge. So we will have three isobutyl groups. Its common name is L-selectride. Its common name is L-selectride. IUPAC nomenclature is lithium triisobutyl borohydride. And similarly, we will have potassium triisobutyl borohydride, potassium triisobutyl borohydride. It is called K-selectride. It is called K-selectride. The IUPAC nomenclature is potassium triisobutyl borohydride. Among them, K-selectride is very highly hygroscopic material. Very highly hygroscopic. So potassium selectride is highly hygroscopic. Potassium selectride is highly hygroscopic. And most importantly, the previous three borohydride reducing agents, they are solids, but these are liquids. They are solutions. Okay, so because these improved alkyl part, triethyl, tributyl, isobutyl, triisobutyl, they are more like liquids. So we will have these reagents in terms of solutions. Okay, so lithium borohydride, zinc borohydride, or sodium borohydride, all these reagents are solids, but these because of the higher content of organic part, these are liquids. So we will have these solutions, these reagents in terms of solutions. And because of its hygroscopic nature, it is very explosive when exposed to moisture. It is very explosive. Okay. I'll give one more point regarding these reagents. These are more nucleophilic because all these having plus I groups, 3 plus I groups. So they are more nucleophilic hydride reducing agents. Okay, and these are available as solutions. So mostly these compounds will be dissolved in THF or some solvent. So with some concentration, we will have these solutions. We use these reagents for the reduction of aldehydes, ketones, and esters. We only use these reagents for reduction of aldehydes, ketones, and esters. So the reaction is very rapid because these are all more nucleophilic hydrate transfer reagents, and because they are very dangerous, we should conduct the reaction at very low temperatures. We should conduct the reaction at very low temperatures. The product will be alcohol. So I'll give few examples for these reagents. Of course, I don't give normal examples because you know how we can reduce aldehydes to alcohols, ketones or esters to alcohols. What I'll give is the selectivity in these reagents. See, these are very sterically crowded systems and they are very reactive systems. Then how do we differentiate different carbonyl functional groups? In this case, both are ketones, but this fellow it is having a simple methyl group on one side, whereas this fellow it is having an isopropyl group. It is having an isopropyl group. So when we want to reduce this diketone with L-selectride with only one equivalent, that means it can only reduce one of the carbonyl. Which carbonyl can be reduced very easily? You know, one is less sterically crowded compared to the other ketone. So this will undergo reduction, whereas this is more sterically crowded. So L-selectrate cannot approach this carbonyl, okay, because of sterical crowding. So only this carbonyl will undergo reduction. So it will give alcohol. So I'm not writing the product, okay. So this ketone will be intact, whereas this ketone will be an alcohol. So it is called regioselective reduction. It is regioselective reduction. What is regioselectivity? When you have same functional groups at two different places, but only one functional group will be reduced, whereas the other one will not be reduced. So that is what is called regioselectivity. Chemoselectivity to similar functional groups, but regioselectivity to same functional groups, but different sterical crowdings or different electronic environments. So this is regioselectivity. Similarly, I did discuss about this ring fusion about 5 5 5 4 3 3 3 4 6 5 6 6 something like this, right? So when we have two 5 5 rings fused together, we can only have a cis ring fusion. Then when we use L-selectride, then what is the configuration of the alcohol? So you may be confused in the beginning itself because this is a cis molecule So these two hydrogens will create sterical crowding. So hydrate transfer takes place from below the plane. Alcohol will be above the plane. No, it's not like that. Like as I said earlier, it will be like this. Okay. So though hydrogens are here, but we can see a very large space available around these two rings. But on the other side, you can see there is only a very small size or small space available between the two rings, and at the same time we will have hydrogens on this carbon. On this carbon we will have two hydrogens, on this carbon we will have two hydrogens, on this carbon, right? So these hydrogens, they are very closely placed, so they will create large sterical crowding compared to the other phase. Okay, so it is like that. So even the hydrogens are above the plane, L electride will approach the molecule from above the plane though. So alcohol will be below the plane. Alcohol will be below the plane. Hydrogen hydrate transfer takes place from above the plane. Alcohol will be below the plane. So it is called alpha alcohol. We do expect the same products when we use either sodium borohydride or lithium borohydride or zinc borohydride. But why should we use selectrides for this reaction? Selectrides are very costly compared to sodium borohydride, right? A simple reason is sodium borohydride is not that selective. That means it will give both major product and a minor product. In this case, the major product may be 80% when we use sodium borohydride. But when we use L-selectride, the selectivity improves to such an extent that the major product will be more than 99%. The major product will be more than 99%. Okay, so that is the importance of selectrides. They will have more selectivity compared to sodium borohydride, lithium borohydride, or zinc borohydride. So because of the improved selectivity, we use selectrides. If you don't need such an selectivity, we can simply use sodium borohydride or something, lithium borohydride, whatever we want we can use. But when we have a particular product like this, only 100% product like this, then we should use selectride, because selectrides will give 100% selectivity. There will be no minor product. Please take a snapshot. I will change this page. I will give the selectivity with our Narbonne and bicyclic systems. We will have these three. This is camphor, right? This is camphor. This is simple Narbonne. This is an alkene in Narbonne. When we use selectrides, L-selectride or K-selectride,